chairman of the Senate Committee on Veterans Affairs. Senator, your reaction to today's news?
Well, on a personal level, I was saddened. In my view, Chris, Eric Shinseki is a true American hero, and not just because of the Purple Hearts he received in Vietnam, but because of the courage that he showed as Army Chief of Staff in telling the truth about what was going to happen in Iraq, standing up to his boss at that time, Donald Rumsfeld. And also, as Secretary of the VA, this guy has done a lot of good things. When he came into office, Chris, the claims process, if you can believe it, in 2009 was done with paper. Paper for the Veterans Administration, 1 million claims a year, some of these claims having boxes and boxes of paper. And he had to transform that into an electronic system. He did it. They're now cutting the wait times the backlog very significantly, cut homelessness, a real disgrace for our country among veterans, by 24%, had to accommodate, bring into the system 2 million new veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan, taking care of the older veterans from Vietnam. Did a whole lot of good. Clearly, he was far from perfect, but I am saddened by his departure.
Do you see him as a fall guy? I mean, do you see him as a scapegoat for a systemic issue, or do you think that he screwed up, that this was essentially a fair holding to account?
I think that there were people who were gaming the system in a terrible way. I mean, lying outrightly by saying, yes, we are accommodating veterans in a 14-day period, when in fact that obviously was not the case. And I think throughout the chain of command, it did not get up to him. And you can blame him. I mean, the guy on top has got to take the hit for these things. But there are a lot of people underneath him, I think, who are not doing what they should have been doing.
You know, there was an employee of the VA who sent an email to the website Gawker today that they posted. Had a lot of interesting tidbits, sort of a ground-eye view of this. One thing this anonymous employee said is, we need more people, period. We cannot keep up. People are quitting and retiring right and left, and we are not backfilling. I have heard that in my own reporting, that if you look at the budget target figure, it's not even necessarily that the money isn't there so much as there aren't enough people.
Well, that ties into money. Look, at the end of the day, if we are serious about providing quality health care to our veterans, and by the way, in the midst of all of this, what we have to say loudly and clearly, and the veterans organizations say this, and independent surveys say this, that when people get into the system, the quality is, in fact, very good.
Yep.
But if you're going to do that and bring people in a timely way, and you're right, Shinseki lowered the time in which he wanted people into the system. You know what? My strong belief is there are facilities all over this country that don't have the doctors, that don't have the nurses to accommodate a huge influx of veterans who want VA health care. We need more doctors. We need more nurses.
Is Congress now going to move on? I mean, here's my fear for this, and this is what I see coming. A scandal became a political scandal, which is when it got a lot of traction, which was, will Eric Shinseki resign or not? Okay, Eric Shinseki has now resigned. Republicans clearly see this as a useful election year issue, and that's all their right to run on. But what's going to get fixed? I mean, you can read an OIG report from 2005 saying there's problems with the waiting time issue. So what's the game plan here?
Well, the game plan, for a start, is to make sure that we have honesty in the system, that hospital administrators stand up loudly and say, you know what, with our staff right now, we can't get people in 14 days, we can't get them in a month.
Right.
We need more staff.
Right.
Short term, what we have to do is allow veterans who are on long waiting lines to use private health care, to use community health centers, federally qualified community health centers, Department of Defense bases. Longer term, what the DOD has got to, what the Veterans Administration has got to do is work with other agencies of government to get a whole lot of medical school students into the VA by doing debt forgiveness, among other things.
Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont, chairman of the Senate Committee on Veterans Affairs. Always a pleasure. Thank you. Joining me now is Army veteran and member of the Truman Project Defense Council.